In the Groove was created to discuss music, education, and serving the local community through the Artist Outreach Initiative. The Artist Outreach uses creative talent and an innovative method to teach core curriculum. In the Groove is proudly sponsored by Monk Wilson Mandala, Trials, Transactions, Technology. The Artist Outreach is a Dallas-based nonprofit that uses all types of art forms as a way to engage people toward a better education. Joseph Vincelli, the chief executive and founder, is an inventor and patent holder, an author, a recording artist who has toured the globe under his own name, played the national anthem for 20 years for the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Stars. Because of his vision and drive for music, he even had a day named after him in Austin, Texas, and was given the key to the city in 3 Texas towns. Joseph initiated the Artist Outreach to help non-musicians understand how music and the arts connect to every facet of our world, and he designed a unique methodology to teach students academic subjects like math and language through music and dance. In the Groove is proudly sponsored by Monk Wilson Mandala, Trials, Transactions, Technology.
Hello, Artist Outreach friends. Glad you're back. Today, we have a special guest with us, Dr. LaDonna Gully, who is the Director of Leadership and Empowerment at the Mesquite ISD, Independent School District. And we have been partnering with Mesquite ISD for, I want to say, 5 years now, and in various capacities. And so I'm very excited to have LaDonna on today because she actually fits 2 different bills. One, she used to be a principal at Florence Elementary School, where we still have a program, but she's no longer there because now she's in this new position of leadership and empowerment. So we're going to kind of talk about most of those, both of those things. And of course we have our music producer Joel McCrae, who is perfect for this topic because both it's about creative music and the academia that we discussed earlier today, but it's also about social emotional learning, SEL. And so we're going to kind of get to that because that's a new concept here in education, and many of you need to know about it, especially for those that have children. Okay, so what I'd like to first start off with, LaDonna, first of all, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
We are glad to have you. So Dr. Gully, we first got a chance to know you at Florence Elementary School, where we have our Streamliners program. It's a STEM program, adding the arts, and of course, R for reading. We talked about the art, the reading and the drums and all that. And so LaDonna got a chance to see some of that during the first few years at Florence.
Yes.
We also had a program at your school, and I believe it's one of the few in the district, for students who are deaf. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
And she said, could you do something that would be creative and exciting for the students? Because we know that rhythm is in everything, like I said before. So those students may not be able to hear it, but they feel it. So we'd put the drum up to them and feel it, and then we'd start to create songs around it.
You know, as I would like to maybe start by saying, amazing. I mean, if someone asked me just about the Artist Outreach Program and what it does for students and the overall impact that it has on students, that is my answer. Simply amazing. And I'm going to tell you again for 2 reasons. First and foremost, because it really allows students to look at their learning differently. And it allows them to really connect and make these interconnections about learning.
Yeah.
So whether it's math, it's reading, it's science, it's social studies, our students are really able to say, you know what, I can add rhythm to that. I can add rhyme to that.
Yeah.
I can do that for memory. I can do that because I just want to be able to engage in my learning differently. And so I found it to be amazing. The other part of that is what it does for students is it allows them an outlet of creativity.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we know that really works for students is when they are very curious about something and when they want to be able to have a high level of creativity. And so the Artist Outreach really, truly does attract and attaches itself to those 2 adjectives that are so important in learning and in engaging students appropriately. I found it for our deaf students because J.H. Florence Elementary is a site for the Regional School of the Deaf within the state of Texas. And so knowing that we also had those students, I was really curious as to, okay, so Joseph, how are you all going to do this for those students? And when I say that you delivered, hands down.
That's great.
When I tell you how excited our students were. I mean, and I was telling someone earlier how our students would literally, when people from the artist outreach will walk through the door, they're like, yes, it's time. What time is it? We got to get to the room. I mean, just the level of engagement our kids really look forward to it. So thank you for that.
Well, we to help our audience out a little bit, we focus mostly on creativity and connectability, because we understand the arts are always considered over here when academia or core studies are over here, and so we're trying to just fuse them together as much as possible because we just know there's so many connections. And so it's great when Dr. Gully talks about this, because she understands it, your teachers understand it, and that's really the biggest compliment when we learn that they have new tools in their toolbox.
Absolutely.
Using the arts in a different way.
And they use it.
And they use it. That's the best part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when the artists leave, you still see teachers engaging in that manner and remembering what was taught and how to teach it to continue to help the students with memory. And so our teachers look forward to it. Our students look forward to it. You could always tell, I always knew what time it was in the afternoon when artist outreach was on my campus, because you could definitely hear a different hum in the air.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to show a short video here and kind of, because you're getting this testimonial, which is awesome, but we want you to get an idea from the kids' perspective. So we're going to show a little bit of the students in action during a science song that was created by our musical staff.
Here we go.
All right, we're recording. Here we go, guys.
Get ready to say solid.
Solid! Solid, shake. A shake that's easy to see.
Here comes particles.
Particles!
The particles line up so.
Show me liquids. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Liquids!
Okay, they keep flowing.
They like to move.
Blow around,
They
liquids.
surely have a
Keep
fire.
going. Now, my gas is liquids. Here comes gas. 1,
You
2,
just say gas. So unique, 'cause it has no it has no shape. So everybody sing with me.
Here come the word. Okay, so you see here that this is obviously pre-COVID, but the students are learning about states of matter, science, liquids and solids, liquids and gases, and so they use this song. In fact, I think this particular elementary school still uses it to this day, which is wonderful. But that's the kind of thing we do. So Joel would create a song like that based on what the teacher's needs are, and then the kids get a chance to use it. So it works out really well. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about is this new thing called social emotional learning, because one of the things that we've noticed is certainly as COVID is starting to dissipate and no longer be able to see straight, and hopefully it'll just kind of just fall apart.
Yes, that's our hope.
That's our hope. Is that the social emotional learning is really important because of recovery learning. We've got to get students to be on track for whatever education they lost during this past year and a half. So what I'd like you to talk about a little bit with regards to that, and also the empowerment that you bring to the school district.
So I would tell you that SEL is really important. And social emotional learning, there has been a lot of research and a lot of study out there that says that when students really feel connected and when students' social emotional needs are taken care of, that you get better learning, that students become really engaged, they pay attention more because their needs are being met. And so social emotional learning, although it is one of the latest buzzwords in education, is something that we have been actually doing for a long time through character education. But I will tell you that we're actually taking it a step further, because when we look at socio-emotional learning, there are some things that we want to make sure that we are providing as educators, but also that our students are also learning and they are also giving back as well. So when I look at it and I talk about it from a standpoint of how do students deal with empathy, right? And how do they see empathy, and how do they see it in their world, and then how do they turn around and actually make sure that they are being empathetic to others around them.
Absolutely.
Right? It also talks about patience, right? Patience is a really big, I mean, we think about SEL and we're thinking, okay, so yeah, I need you to be very patient with me as I'm learning and as I'm growing. And so how do you then turn around and display that for your peers and be able to do that for them as well?